Okay, so this is earnings power and irregular items. We're getting towards the end of the chapter here. And I'm just going to do the accounting for discontinued operations first. And to do that, I'm going to use brief exercise 1415 as an example. A discontinued operation is one that the company has sold off. It could be an operating segment or a reporting unit, a subsidiary. It could sell off a geographic location of its operations. And it's the most common irregular item, and the company would have no continued involvement with this discontinued operation. So a couple of examples. Carlisle Company is a big corporation, and they do construction materials, transportation, and food service. Not sure I like the idea of that combination of items, but they sold off part of their transportation component, called Trail King, a specialty trailer business that had been operating at a loss. One particularly brilliant discontinued operation was H&R Block. In 2007, sold its mortgage operations right before the big financial debacle that happened. So that was pretty good of H&R Block. So anyway, our discontinued operations, that's what they are. To account for them, these are shown after, at the very end of our income statement, and they're shown net of tax. In other words, up to this point, the tax has been computed on everything. When we have discontinued operations, our net income becomes income from continuing operations, and then we have our discontinued operations. So anything after that point of income from continuing operations is reported net of tax without the tax impact in it. So how do we compute that? Well, in brief exercise 1415, they have an operating loss on this division they sold. In other words, they sold it partway through the year. It had been operating, and it was operating at a loss. So we take the loss, which is the $300,000, times the 30% tax rate, and this would give us our taxes on that. This is the tax amount here. And so when we go the 300,000 minus the tax impact, the loss that we would report would be this negative 210,000. Then the company also sold off the facilities of this division, the European facilities, and I have a wrong number here. I just noticed. Okay, so that should be 36,000. Okay, so they had the loss of 120,000 times the 30% tax rate gives them a $36,000 tax. And so when you go the 120 minus the 36, this is the amount that would be reported on the income statement. So when you have discontinued operations, you would, and you can see in the notes how it's done out properly on the income statement, your income before this amount becomes income from continuing operations, and then you have your continuing operations, and then you have your discontinued operations, and at the very end you end up with your net income. I'll show you how that looks on a proper income statement. I really just wanted you to get the tax going net of tax. And it does not matter if it's a loss or a gain. You could have revenues of 300,000, and if it were revenues instead of a loss, it would still be times 30% net of tax impact. It would just be the plus 210. So it doesn't matter gain or loss, you just get the tax impact out of it. Okay, so that's your discontinued operations, and what I'll do next is an income statement that shows, why they bother to do this.